You ain't even know it. Put Molly all in her champagne. She ain't even know it. I took her home and I enjoyed that. She ain't even know it.
A Dominican woman meets a foreigner through a friend at a bar. Afterwards, they are all chilling in a villa with a pocket full of Skrilla. But she looked at her glass of water and noticed that there is more water than before. She thought nothing of it at the time, so she just kept drinking. Then she began to feel real funny, real beside herself, like someone had put something in her drink. Then things turned left fast.
So I left the matrix.
And my money just tripled. I had a good time and it cost me a little. So I found peace, tranquility, faith in my abilities.
I couldn't fake no more, so I left the matrix.
What's going on? What's going on? Thanks for tuning in with Profe Gallo. So this week I am doing 4 stories, 3 local Dominican stories, and a more juicy story that I have for you all that involves expats.
Dímelo, profe, ¿qué lo que pasa? Profe Gallo.
So let's get started. So Arajet, which is a Dominican airline that started last year. Now this airline has become a major hub for, its hub is Santo Domingo, but it's become a major airline, a major choice for traveling throughout Latin America. Now, it is a low budget airline and it has destinations in 14 countries currently in 19 cities. So it's not a small local airline. It is a large local airline, and it is constantly adding more routes as we speak. I mean, there are routes in the pipeline for Spain and the United States and many other countries as well. So let me go ahead and get started. So it has become the largest Dominican-based airline, and it's constantly adding new routes. Arajet just added the new routes to the U.S. and Spain, like I just said, but not only from Santo Domingo, but now they're adding routes from Santiago. And currently, Santiago Airport is in the works of adding their airline to Medellin. So that is about to start very soon. Now, this is interesting because I always felt that Santiago is like, what Santiago is to DR is what Medellin is to Colombia. For example, they both are the second largest cities in the respective countries. And now Arajet is expected to compete directly with Copa Airlines in Latin America. And as you know, Copa Airlines has a major foothold in the airline industry in Latin America. Their major hub is Panama, so wherever you want to go in Latin America, you always got to do a layover or an escala, as Dominicans would say, in Panama. But now Arajet is going to compete with Panama and Copa Airlines, as now folks are going to be flying through Santo Domingo. So I don't know if you all been to the Santo Domingo airport recently, but it has changed dramatically. I mean, it's got a dramatic facelift. It looks really nice in there. I mean, they've really done a good job with the place, and they're still adding more and doing more renovations. So I don't know if this has a direct connection with Arajet and its growth, but it is definitely shows when you go into the Santo Domingo airport. So just so you all know that Arajet is now in direct competition with Copa Airlines, and you'll see I have the chart up that shows their current destinations as of today, but that is constantly changing as they're adding more every month. So like I said, Arajet has destinations in 19 cities and 14 countries, and I'll just go down the list because this is pretty difficult for you all to see. And Mexico, it goes to Mexico City and Cancun. It did have a route to Monterrey, but they canceled that. In Peru, it goes to Lima. In Colombia, it goes to Barranquilla, Cartagena, Bogota, and Medellin. In Costa Rica, it goes to San Jose. In El Salvador, it goes to San Salvador. In Guatemala, it goes to Guatemala City. In Canada, it goes to Toronto and Montreal. In Aruba, it goes to the capital in Aruba, St. Martin, the capital in St. Martin, Curaçao, the capital in Curaçao. In Ecuador, it goes to Quito and Guayaquil. In Jamaica, it goes to Kingston. In Brazil, it only goes to Sao Paulo ahora. Right now, just to Sao Paulo. In Chile, it goes to Santiago. So like I said, when they open up their routes to the United States, they'll be opening up for Orlando, New York, Miami, and Boston for starters. Then they'll go from there. And the Spain route will go to Madrid. Now, the next story I have is from Dominican Today. And the Dominican Republic has declared Santiago as a province for health tourism. The Health Commission, led by Senator Leah Diaz-Santana, has put forth a bill to Congress to promote health tourism in the province of Santiago. And this is expected to enhance health services, improve collective well-being, and contribute to the economic and social development of that region of Cibao. So now that Santiago has been declared a health tourism, the idea is that it's going to be attracting much more medical tourism. So you know that DR is already a major tourism hub for plastic surgery, other cosmetic surgeries. So DR is definitely a well-known place for that. And I think that this is only going to increase health tourism in the Dominican Republic, specifically in Santiago. And it's going to create safer health tourism. I know that there's been a lot of pushback in the health tourism industry that, a lot of folks are going to the Dominican Republic and other countries, and, they're dying on a surgery table, or, this and that. Some of these doctors aren't real doctors. Well, this is only going to solidify Santiago with the DR as a tourist hub. So Senator Eduardo Estrella, the president of the Senate, she has highlighted that significant investments made in the healthcare sector in the city of Santiago, and it's going to make big changes for Santiago. So declaring this province as a health tourism hub is going to, improve the healthcare infrastructure, its services, both domestic and international tourists, and it's just going to make things even better. Now, this coincides with the last story, as now that Santiago will be having direct flights to and from Medellin and soon other cities in Latin America. This is only going to increase health tourism in Santiago and for the Dominican Republic. So this next story I gathered from many Dominican sources and external Dominican sources as well. But for over a year, the Dominicans have been talking about JetBlue and how JetBlue badly treats Dominicans, and I've heard this for, quite a while now. But at first, I would just brush it off and say they are exaggerating, because some folks exaggerate. But this next story may hold some weight, according to passengers of JetBlue. So passengers of JetBlue have been stranded for 3 days at the puertoplata airport. At least 40 JetBlue passengers, mostly Dominicans, have been stranded at the Gregorio Luperón International Airport in Puertoplata due to constant flight delays by the airline. Now, the passengers were planning to travel to New York City, and now they fear losing their jobs and things of that nature because they have been unable to get to New York City, to the destination. Now, passengers have been forced to sleep on the floor, sleep on benches within the terminal, and flights just keep getting delayed. And JetBlue, being a major airline, should have the resources to correct this action. I mean, if they're constantly getting delayed there, why not just, bus these folks to Santiago, which is only an hour away, and fly to Santiago if there's such issues going on at the puertoplata airport, right? But this is not the first time that JetBlue passengers in the Dominican Republic have faced delays and cancellations and complaints about the company's services. I mean, this is recurrent. And many frustrated travelers are calling on the central government to intervene and demand that JetBlue treats its customers with dignity and address the issues that's causing these delays. So I know that the actual governments do have some influence. I mean, I know that the U.S., because JetBlue is a U.S. company, the U.S. government will have more influence over JetBlue, but the Dominican government should have some influence. So I think that, they should have the ability to put their foot down and put the pressure on JetBlue to make some changes and fix their issues, right? So we'll see what happens with that. Let me know your thoughts on those stories. I really want to know what you all think and what experiences you have had with those 3 stories. And now I'm going to jump into the expat story that I have. So this story comes from a friend of a friend of a friend, right? So this, and I had to dissect dozens of voice notes that were all over the place to really get the gist of the story. Now, look, some people can just tell you, some people they just cannot tell you a direct story, right? Especially many Dominicans. But anyways, this story I heard soon after it happened earlier this year. But since then, I've been more vocal about my YouTube channel with people, right? I have my channel for it's been over 3 years now. So I've been more vocal about it now than before. And now people have been coming to me with stories that, hey, tell this story, or do this or do that. So I was really encouraged to tell this story. So a Dominican woman, and I'll call her the prota, short for protagonist in English, protagonista in Spanish. She's from Santo Domingo. And one day she arrived at a bar. And that night, she is introduced to 4 foreigners by a girlfriend of hers. Now, her girlfriend was hanging out with one of those foreigners, and that one of the other foreigners within that group, a retired military guy, she said he was either in the Marines or in the Navy. He contracted her for the night, right? Contracted her for the night. So she spent the night with him, with that particular foreigner from that group. And in the morning, she went with the foreigner to another city in DR. So they hung out together that day, but later that day, things turned left. First, she noticed that the foreigner was putting her through a series of tests. These tests were, for example, he would leave large sums of cash on the sofa and the bedroom just to see if she would steal or not. She stressed that she's not a thief and she does the work according to the contract, and that's it. So when he noticed she didn't take anything, she gained his confidence. And as the day went on, things turned even more left. So they are chilling in the villa, and when she looked at her glass of water, she noticed that there was more water than before. She thought nothing of it, so she just kept drinking. She then began to feel funny, like someone tainted her drink, tainted her. Now, she stressed that she doesn't deal with illegal substances, and this substance, whatever was tainted in her drink, made her feel like someone else. And after feeling tainted, she said she was giving money, but it wasn't according to the contract. And they argued for a while, and he didn't want to give her the money that was according to the contract. Another foreigner, which is part of his foreigner group, said to the guy, man, just pay her. We don't want any problems over here. Just pay her. But the guy refused to pay according to the contract, according to what she's telling me. And later, she was beaten. In her words, me dio pila de golpes. Me dio pila de golpes. Ella me dijo. So that's what she told me. And she tried to jump off the balcony to get away, right? But she ended up going out the front door instead. And she said that the effects of her tainted glass of water, she felt it, you know, for a while. And she's not very clear about how the things escalated to that point. You know, she told me that, you know, she was not feeling like herself because her glass of water was tainted, and she didn't receive, you know, what she was supposed to receive according to the contract. And somehow he ended up giving her, you know, beating her, giving her pila de golpes. And she tried to jump off the balcony, and and the guy was not allowing her to jump off the balcony. I don't know, because for whatever reason. But again, I didn't want to push too much because I didn't want to push too much because the way she's talking about it, she's talking as if it was very traumatic. I feel like there's some missing gaps in here. And I really want you all to comment on that, what you think happened, right, within those gaps, right? I really want to know your input. I do remember that during that time frame when it happened, I saw the pics, right? Because it was a big thing when it happened earlier this year. You know, so her friend, she sent that to her friend, and her friend sent it to another friend, and then I was able to get a hold of the pictures and also the actual story with the voice notes. It was going through, you know, various people to get to me, because I mean, she shared quite a bit of stuff, but I can't put that on YouTube. She seems to be moving forward, and that's it. So that's all I got, mi gente. Thanks for tuning in on Profe Gallo in this week's news in Dominican Republic. Let me know what you all think. Leave a comment, share, subscribe. And I appreciate all the support from the first video. You guys really been supporting me. I really appreciate all the love and support. And come back for more news next week and other content that I'm going to be putting out. Peace. What up, my people? Hola, mi gente. Gracias por tu apoyo. Da me gusta, sigue mi canal y comparte con toda tu familia. Thank you for supporting my channel. Please give it a like and subscribe and share with all your family if you enjoy my content. Peace.